Ooh. Oh man. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Spencer Lee, back with another video. And we are out here today. It's one of those weird, I guess, like spring/summer, cold, crisp, clear mornings that we usually get during the winter time, but it's like unusually cold for like late May. But usually when this kind of weather comes along, it's like perfect for shooting these reflections. And we're out here today trying to get a reflection shot here with this mountain behind us in a beautiful, beautiful reflection and with some beautiful morning light on it. So hopefully we don't get a lot of wind, hopefully we don't get a lot of cloud blocking our sunlight, but we're gonna give this shot a try, set up a couple time lapses, and go from there. I was thinking about what lens to bring for this shot, this wide angle shot, and I thought, well, the 12-24 might actually be quite good for this shot because of how wide the view is and how crazy the reflection could be. But I wanted to see, I've been thinking about it more and more recently, that I kind of want to get rid of the 12-24 and get the 14 GM, especially since I've been doing more astrophotography. That 1.8 is definitely helpful to have. So I was thinking, if I can get away with a 16-35 shot here, that might be the way to go. So this is the view from 16 mil. So I'm thinking we kind of want to put our main subject right in the center. We can zoom in a little bit, in fact, and shoot less than 16, or we could something along the lines of this. I've been thinking more and more that I don't really use the 12 millimeter ends of the 12-24 lens anymore, and because the lens is so big and so heavy, I rarely bring it out on any sort of shoots. I did end up bringing the A7C, of course, for the second time lapse, and I did also bring the 12-24. So what I think I'm going to do with this lens, just because we have it, is do a vertical time lapse for Instagram. At least, the 12 might be coming a little bit handy to get us wider on the vertical side. $3,000 does not justify shots just for Instagram, I guess, but I don't know. At least for me, it's not. Let's try to shoot at 14 and see if we can get away with it. And yeah, I think 14 actually. Just punching in just slightly. It actually works a little bit better for this shot. Anyways, let me try and find a seat here. I need to get one of those foldable chairs so I can sit out in the field wherever and just kind of sit and vlog instead of squat and vlog, or sit on my camera bag and vlog. But I mean, the thought process behind purchasing the 12-24 is that I could have G Master sharpness and G Master quality with a wide angle lens and a wide angle zoom lens while I would vlog with the 16-35. But ever since getting this 20 mil 1.8 for vlogging, I've really been enjoying just like the lighter form factor, smaller form factor, shallower depth of field that the 20 mil provides, that I haven't needed the 12-24 anymore. So I've just been shooting landscapes with the 16-35 and really enjoying the ability to punch in when I need to 35 mil and zoom out to 16. And for most things, 16 mil has been perfect and like wide enough. And there are those occasional times where then I'm zoomed out all the way to 16. I'm like, oh dang, I wish I had my 12-24. But those times are rare. And I think if I were to add the 14 GM into the mix, because if I need something wider than 16 mil, I could just switch to the 14, and I think the 14 mil would work for most of those situations. Ooh, baby, look at that. Look at that light. Oh, that's gonna be insane for the time lapse. It's just gonna, hopefully it lights up the whole mountain, but just gradually painting it from above Oh, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Oh, I'm so stoked that we got here. The reflections seem to be still holding relatively well. Fingers crossed that that stays that way. We don't need any breezes right now. We just need pure bliss and beauty, and it's just looking absolutely insane. I mean, oh my God, would you look at that? There's the shot, ladies and gents. There's the shot. Beautiful reflections. The wind's starting to kick up a little bit, but honestly, this is perfect right now. And even though we are getting a little bit of ripples on that end, most of the reflection is there. We can probably edit out that little bit of ripples on the far right side of the frame. Ooh, that is nice. That is really, really nice. Oh my goodness. What another perfect scene. So I was driving back after shooting the pond and was just looking outside my window to see that the ocean is just like, not totally calm, but relatively calm. It's almost like a mirror. Man, these light winds make it so easy. So I'm gonna try and set up a quick time lapse. So as you saw from both this scene as well as the scene at our fish pond, 16 millimeters works well for most landscape photography scenes. And usually that 16 mil is wide enough to get everything that you want in the frame. And even for the vertical shot as well, you saw at the fish pond that 14 millimeters worked a lot better for the scene than 12 millimeters did. Now this vlog is a little bit of a throwback. As you guys saw a couple weeks ago in my What's in My Camera Bag video, I did end up selling the 12 to 24 G Master and getting the 14 G Master, and I haven't regretted that switch one bit. The 14 GM has become a staple of my toolkit because I do so much astrophotography. And originally when I purchased the 12 to 24, I wasn't dabbling that much in astrophotography, and I mainly got that lens primarily so that I could vlog with the 16 to 35 and have another G Master wide angle lens. I stubbornly thought that I could get away with using f2.8 for astrophotography, but after renting the 14 GM for our Utah trip, that was proven wrong. The 1.8 is far superior for astrophotography. And after trying that lens, I instantly regretted buying the 12 to 24 in the first place. Not only was this 14 GM far superior for astrophotography, but it's also smaller, more lightweight, and portable when compared to the 12 to 24. The 12 to 24 comes in at about 30 ounces, which is about 1.8 pounds. And this guy comes in at 16 ounces or just over a pound. So the 14 is nearly about half the weight when compared to the 12 to 24 GM. So if you're looking for a lightweight and portable ultra wide angle lens, this is the way to go. In terms of astrophotography with the 12 to 24, I did run into one issue in particular that kind of irked me a little bit. When shooting ultra wide at 12 millimeters, even if I stopped down my shutter speed to make sure that there wasn't any star trailing, I would still get a little bit of coma and a little bit of star trailing in the corners of my image. This was only when I was zoomed out to 12 millimeters. So I'm kind of assuming that that coma and that distortion is primarily because the lens is so ultra wide. But I never liked the fact that I got star trails in the corners because I'm always looking to print my images. So when I switched over to the 14 GM, of course, that was the first thing that I checked, and no comas in the corners because it's punched in just a little bit so you don't get that super ultra wide angle distortion distorting your stars. And when it comes to regular landscape photography stuff, I find that using the 16 to 35 and 16 millimeters works really well for most scenes. However, I do run into the problem occasionally where 16 millimeters is just not wide enough. That's when the 14 GM comes in clutch and I'm able to slap that thing on, get a little bit wider, and get that particular shot. But I've never felt the desire or the need to ever have to go wider than 14 millimeters. So the question that I pose to you folks is, does anybody actually need a 12 millimeter lens? Because I thought I did at one point and I ended up making a $3,000 mistake. Well, it wasn't exactly $3,000 because I did make some of that money back when I sold the lens, but still not the best buying decision on my part. If you already own a 16 to 35 or another equivalent wide angle zoom lens, I would say just stick to that because it's gonna work well for most of the scenes that you run into in general landscape photography. If you run into the situation where you need something a little bit wider, the 14 millimeter G Master lens is gonna be a great option for you. Because it's so small, lightweight, and portable, it can just sit in the camera bag and it's not gonna weigh you down too much to be used just in case. And if you ever want to get into that subgenre of astrophotography, that 1.8 aperture is gonna come in clutch. So I hope this video was helpful for you if you are shopping around for an ultra wide angle lens. In my opinion, I would take the 14 millimeter G Master any day over the 12 to 24, both the f4 and the f2.8 versions, just because it's so small, lightweight, and portable, and that 1.8 aperture is just amazing for astrophotography. But I'll leave that decision up to you. If you feel like you need the flexibility of that zoom lens, go ahead, spend $3,000. I just don't think it's worth it for what I do. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more gear review videos and photography vlogs just like this one. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.